Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Friday Criterium Primal Europe Friday Crit race presented by the TFC, excuse me. And racers are in the start pens, just about to get underway for the A, B, and C race. There is a separate D category today that they have created that will be starting on their own. About 4 minutes, 5 minutes from now. I do have a feed in there. It's a little bit stuttered, actually a lot stuttered, but we will be able to watch what is happening over there. It looks like about 9 riders have signed up for that race so far. But the racers are taking off from the pens right now in the Primal Europe Friday Criterium. We are watching Mr. Timothy Turmont right now follow the lead of Felix Hemsey, as it looks like Vision has showed up in force quite a bit, and as I know the Vision team says, just kind of low-key at the front of the race right now. Acox with K Ruff there. It looks like BJ Alfonso, though, from PTZ, not going to be letting those boys get away, as Peter Sinzinski from Team PL, who is actually a participant in the up-and-coming CVR event, actually is hammering away here as well. It looks like my camera is just a little bit. There we go. Let's move Nathan to the right location on the screen here. Atwell's there as well, 3.5 watts per kilogram. Looks like we are doing the forward Watopia tonight. Going to be a fast and furious and difficult race. 4 laps forward Watopia. The D category is doing 2 laps out on the Watopia hilly forward, so it's going to be a difficult day today for the riders. This is one of the hardest courses by far out on Zwift. Definitely seeing Watopia hilly. We saw a few people making some comments in game about flat course, but I am definitely seeing it is going to be the hilly course. Did our playlist, my question real quick to myself is, what did our playlist have in it just now for the Velo viewer, as well as the broadcast throughout the titles and everything? That would be interesting to see here as well. I am seeing a flat course up on and above me here as well, so I'm going to make some changes here really quickly, as I'm definitely seeing Watopia hilly on the let's see here, Watopia hilly on the zippower.com, and the riders are definitely heading on to Watopia hilly right now. Let's see if I can get this to go for us here into the correct and there is Watopia hilly, and we should be correct now up above us. There we go, boys and girls. So that is I think some of the riders even are watching the broadcast so closely that they thought they were going to be heading on to the flat course. D is flat, main race is hilly, Hodges is sane. Got it. Understood completely. Johnny's in the house. The course is wrong. Yeah, got it, Johnny. We fixed it. Here, sort of watching, not racing. Go Team TFC. Chris is in the house. Good to see you, Carissa. Hanging out. Szymanski is in the house as well. Why are people telling people to go to bed? It's messed up in Zwift Power. Hodges say, no problem. Don't worry about it, Hodges. We got it handled over here on the broadcast now. I think the start of the race, though, for the scenes at the beginning for our playlist most likely said flat, but no big deal. Don't worry about it. Sozinski here with Atwell and Turmont now. And then we are seeing Hemsley, it looks like 3 seconds back. That is the lead group now, it looks like, with Peter and Atwell and then Turmont. They are getting away. Let's see if Felix can close that down. 168 beats per minute currently, 4.2 watts per kilogram. Looks like he's got the speed to do it, but Peter might not want them to be coming back and is putting out a solid 4.5 watts per kilogram right now, as they are making their way up and over and have had some good continuance now over the top of the Watopia forward climb. Does look like a 20-second gap to the chasers, but 5 on the front now, it looks like, as the US MES rider here, our Jones, is closing the gap for Felix, it looks like. Has closed the gap, but Felix, man, he was within that 1 second, but it's gone back out to 3. It's all about closing down these little bitty meters right now. 25 meters is actually a huge gap out on Zwift. He's got to close it now, or I don't think he's going to see these boys again as they come over this little climb. It's going to be extremely important at this moment right here when they hit this not right here. This negative 3.5 is important, but I think the next section, this little kicker here, depending on how hard these boys go over it, is really going to determine whether or not Felix is going to see them again. If he can outdo them in watts per kilogram right now, he most likely will be able to go with them. But Peter here is not holding anything back and is going to cause them to go over the top here at 25 miles per hour. We are seeing Felix here only at 22. The gap is going to go away, and I don't believe he is going to see them again because of that. Just 1, 2, 3, well, actually 5 to 15 meters. It obviously wasn't within 1, 2, or 3. So Felix in no man's land here. Maybe they will slow down at the bottom of the climb, but Vision would have 2 in the lead group at that point, and I don't think Peter wants to see that as Jones makes his way to the front. Termont here trying to slow things down a little bit, just sitting on the back here, seeing that his teammate is right there. Okay, hey now, there we go. And so right into 3.6 watts per kilogram, though, 161 beats per minute from Mr. Hemsley trying to get back. Now we do see a Kerr here, 1 second over, it looks like. A Cox with BJ Alfonso here, 3.0 watts per kilogram, leading out the main chase group out on course. I have no idea why suddenly Zwift closed there for a moment. Once in a while, that has happened. We are seeing all kinds of conversation going here. Flat for D race, Hilly, and it looks like I have lost the D race. They've taken off. 12.4 miles total, but I'm not sure that we're going to be able to get in there. I'm a bit annoyed. My Zwift isn't loading. Sorry, Rogers. Was aiming to win the B-Cat as well. Chris is saying flat for D, hilly for open. I believe Zwift website may not know how to handle that. It should be that's bad form if people are choosing a race and see flat, then are put on hilly. Szymanski is saying, I'm sorry, not Szymanski. I think that's Johnny is saying, Ants March, you have to go to another site and link your Amazon account or just Google it. And I think he is talking about connecting your Amazon account with your Twitch account. I think that you can connect it right in your settings, actually, in your settings for your Twitch account, if that's what you guys are chatting about there. Let's see here. And I think the event in Zwift events is actually saying that it is a flat course. I think that's where the... let's see here really quickly and just make sure that that's right. Looking through here. Yeah, I'm seeing Route Watopia flat route, but I don't think that the website knows to or has the ability to have 2 separate courses. I would be interested to know, did the boys and girls in the D category actually head out onto the flat course, or did they head out onto the hilly course today? Does anybody know that might be a part of those races or are currently watching those races? Would be good information to have. We do have social integration going on right now. This community line says Friday. Hi, all Steph Gardner. It's good to see you. Hilly for E category race and flat for D only. Matthew Burton is letting us know as well. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all of the comments, and we can bring in all your comments. Just like the comment here over on Twitter to let you guys know a little over an hour ago that we were going to be going live, or just like Tor on Martin soon, legs don't turn, or Matthew Burton here letting everybody know what's going on with the categories today. So if you would like to get involved or have any comments, questions, pics of your setup at Zwift, with Zwift, anything like that, you can bring them right on into the broadcast with our social media integration. Love to have your comments or bring in and see your real life setups. Always cool to see those as we go through the race. The initial breaks have happened. We'll head on over to ZwiftPower.com. You can actually see the live racing over on ZwiftPower.com, as well as you can see the live racing results, as well as the live racing right here on the broadcast on the live tab, actually. So as you click on the live tab over at ZwiftPower.com, it does bring up all of the racers in their current positions about, and then there is a little live video chat and live chat tab that will have a little drop down menu for you, so you can watch the broadcast there as well as get the live results all at once, and you don't even miss out on chat as it is embedded over there. Pretty sweet deal from ZwiftPower.com. Felix, as we said, was not going to see them again. We're seeing him here in no man's land, being chased down by his teammate here 19 seconds back, as well as coming out of the US of A, K Ruff. And we are seeing, it looks like Aaron Cox as well out of the United States. 31 races for Aaron Cox here in the B category. It looks like estimated FTP of 316. And looks like he's going to be chasing hard to try and grab the wheel of Jay Kerr and maybe be able to chase down Hemsley, form the next chase group out on course today. It's going to be, though, K-Ruff, PJ Afonso, and Kuzminski here out of Poland making the chase right now in the, as the official, I would think, second chase group out on course, as all the rest up ahead are in solo TT efforts, trying to maybe form their own chase group. We'll see if they all get together and start working together, but here's the chase group containing some of the C riders, actually lead C riders. Kuzminski here out of Poland, but let's see where Team Poland here is sitting with their watts per kilogram currently. Looking through and seeing Kuzminski 3.4 watts per kilogram, definitely a little bit over category limits for the C category. We'll see if he drops below that, as he's just trying to hang on to Ruff and BJ Alfonso's wheel right now. So definitely, let's go ahead and see what's happening with Kuzminski, actually, as this is a rider I'm not super familiar with. Out of Poland, not riding for Team Poland, actually, excuse me, 2 races. So, yep, 2 races, but took a third in the Team Italy Gladiators race back on the 24th, so just 2 days ago. Raced way back in the Criterium race series back in November, actually, so does know this series very well, but only has 4 races total out on Zwift that I'm seeing, even group rides and races total, actually, out on Zwift. So uses the group rides and races sparsely, it looks like, but is maybe jumping back into it with a race here on the 24th recently. So good to see that coming from Kuzminski. We'll see if that he can hang on with these boys and maybe get a better result than he currently had in the B category with that 3rd place just 2 days ago. BJ Alfonso now, it looks like, leading things out. Now coming around here, we do have K Ruff there from Vision trying to chase down 12 seconds ahead Mr. Aaron Cox. Then we do have Kerr here trying to hold these boys off. Hemsley now 12 seconds up, but the leaders now have gotten a full minute over the rest of the riders now on this first lap. Here are your front 4 runners here. R. Jones, Atwell, then Szerzynski, now Peter, 4.5 watts per kilogram. So for the rules, though, let's go over them really quickly, as we always try to get everybody really informed about Zwift racing and what is happening in front of you. Right now, these are actual people on actual bikes pushing these avatars around with heart rates in the 169 beats per minute here for Szerzynski that you can see, 300 watts. That's the power that he's pushing into the pedals on a real bike right now, being communicated to the game through a wireless signal called an ANT Plus signal, or maybe a Bluetooth signal if he is on a iOS device, on a mobile device. But we are seeing here we are seeing here a worldwide massive multiplayer online game where everybody is powering their avatars, powering their in-game personas with actual power from real bikes. And as far as this race goes, there's an event in Zwift that you can join. But well, before it starts, you can join. You can't join any longer. Races cannot be joined after they start, just so you guys know. Group rides can, but power-ups are not allowed in the Friday Criterium, Primal Europe Friday Criterium Spring Race Series. And any bike is allowed, though. So it is slightly gamified, as you can jump onto any bike you want to. TT bikes are allowed, is the point there. A little bit faster, but no drafting on them. But they do not want the power-ups. And power-ups are gained like in Mario Kart when you went over the little question mark boxes, when you went over those little prize boxes, and the little tick through went on in the upper left-hand corner. Well, if we were watching my avatar, you would see where that hilly course is right above me there'd actually be a little spot where my power-up would be if I went through a start finish, a KOM, or a sprint banner. It would cycle through all the power-ups and finally land on one based on random numbers game, rolling of the dice, and those power-ups can be used in order to go faster in different kinds of ways or draft in different kinds of ways. But in this race event that you're seeing right now, the Primal Europe Friday Criterium, they have been turned off actually in order to keep things a little bit more realistic. They wanted to take the RNG out of the game. Some races, though, want to include them fully, as they are available to all of the racers. The KISS series is one for sure that likes to fully gamify the races. Peter Szynski now on the attack now. It looks like 178 beats per minute, now dropping to 3.5 watts per kilogram. We are seeing him jumping back into that 5.6 or so. Atwell coming right along, and Termont now 4.2. We are seeing Jones, who did close the gap up and over the top of the climb, now getting dropped off again here on lap number 2, second time up and over the top of the Watopia forward here. No heart rate monitor actually, and I think heart rate monitors are most likely compulsory. Let me see here really quick. All riders are asked to register with Power and Strava. Female riders will be included in their CAT, and the result will be published in the TFC page as a separate ladies league. Let's see what else is going on with the rules here. Please note, Z-Power riders with average watts per kilogram over the duration of a race of greater than 3.99 watts per kilogram will not be eligible CAT or race wins. Riders boosting over 5 watts per kilogram average will be DQ'd. There will be standing if real life matching performance can be provided. Please ensure you check your Strava tags. So I'm not seeing anything in the rules about heart rate monitors, but usually with SwiftPower.com, heart rate monitors are compulsory. And I believe that most likely is what's going to be happening with Jones for him to be able to grab a spot here in the A or B category. Termont in the B category is getting away here and getting a free ride a little bit here with some of these A boys. And with the watts per kilogram currently in the 4.2 from Szynski, 4.0 from Atwell, Jones sitting at a solid 4.0, but we are seeing Termont at 3.4, really being a savvy rider right here, putting out way less watts per kilogram, but able to follow all of the moods. So he's been resting up for those key points and then throwing down that dynamic power over the climbs to hang on. Almost a full watt per kilogram less, actually, than Szynski as they make their way around the course. Very, very smart riding here coming from Mr. Termont in order to get into this breakaway. Alan Wires is saying that was a hassle, but all looks good. The main field have gone up the hill and the D have gone flat. Thank you so much, Wires, for the comment there and the update. I class beer as carbo loading, so yeah, wait now, what's going on here? Jens Fried Rasmussen said, does red wine count as both a race recovery and as a race prep? There's one of the best comments of the day coming from Jens Fried Rasmussen. Tired legs from yesterday and racing tomorrow in 12 hours. The comment from Burton, though, in response is even better, as he says, I-class beer is carbo loading, so yeah, why not? I'm not sure they're made from the same sources there for those sugars, but we are seeing Jonathan Noblet here also bringing in a nice little pick here, saying time to power up the Primal Europe Friday night crit on TFC at this community. Not too much though, like this guy did. Who is this guy? Definitely want to watch out for him. Don't want to be breaking any cranks or pedals out there. Oh my gosh. Where did he find that picture? Oh boy, the team bus is definitely getting me into some trouble, it looks like here. Szynski now 3.1 watts per kilogram with Atwell and Termont still off the front. Jones here almost chased him back down with 11 seconds there, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it this time. And now the question is going to be, can they hold off Alfonso and Kuzminski, Winsper? What happened to Felix? It looks like he maybe threw in the towel for the day. Or perhaps we're just not loading the riders between, because there was definitely a few riders in between here that were a lot closer. And there's Felix. And okay, I didn't think that they would have pulled out with Kerr and Felix here now got together. It looks like Ruff here trying to chase it down as well. We might have a Vision TTT on our hands with Aaron Cox joining the party in just a little bit here. We'll see if that happens. But 2:14 is the gap between the Vision riders here and the front runners in the race. Jones still 16 seconds off the back. He's probably going to be thinking a whole lot about Kerr and Hemsley as they work together to chase down that 2:06 on the day going into their third lap. They got about 2.5 laps total left to go out on course today. And Burton is saying, I never said I had science to prove it. And Matt, I trust Jens Fried. Rasmussen is saying about all about the wine comments there and the beer comments for the recoveries today. Comex says Nathan Garrett should probably point it's specifically 3D accelerated windows. Point out that it's specifically 3D accelerated. Wait, what's going on here? Let me see here real quick. Nathan Garrett, there's a bug with Windows 10 where Windows can sometimes go into the background. It happens to me sometimes, even watching YouTube in Chrome. So is not a Zwift bug. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Kyle. I should probably point out it's specifically 3D accelerated Windows. Gotcha. So that's really helpful, actually. And we'll see if I can find a way to get rid of the bug. Is there a Windows update maybe so that that doesn't happen? D. Broadman's in the house saying, Rogers, okay, haven't seen what anywhere? Roger saying, yeah, somewhere on Twitter or Facebook's list of who's doing CVR World Cup race. You guys want to see who's doing the CVR World Cup race? You know, we should just have that as an input at all times for you guys and gals in the, you know, we don't want to focus too much on that from other races and race series, but that is a big deal, and we can bring that right on in actually really quickly, as I have used it as a source before. And while this thing's kind of calmed down here just a little bit, let's go ahead and see what's happening with the C categories. Kuzminski here has gotten away. Real quick before we show you the CVR lineup, we are seeing that Kuzminski here is riding as a B rider. He has C in his name, but we're seeing B in Zwiftpower.com, and it's definitely a 3.4 watts per kilogram. But within category win limits, we do have Winsper, it looks like, along with Stockvik and quite a few others. Look at this C category TFC train battling it out with, it looks like, Shields here, who's going to have his hands full trying to get the better of these TFC boys who are all riding together in this C category. They got a solid 35 seconds over Jay Copland, who looks to have had a dropout. We'll give him a ride on, see if he can get moving again. But moving forward, actually, we'll keep it on these boys while we bring in the lineup for the men and the women. For the women's race over at that CVR World Cup, real quickly, if you haven't seen it already, on June 6th, Rachel at Heidi Gould, Cassie Baldy, Joe Gainley, Carrie Conabear, Rachel Zambrano, Giannis Denny, and Eve McChrystal, Lindsay Guerra, and Katrina Weiss, and they will all be doing updates on their social medias about their run-in to the event. You can also click on our events, actually, and we're going to start scheduling events day by day, actually. And here right now in the Twitch chat, we should be able to link for you the event for the CVR World Cup. So make sure to head on over there and get your reminder of whenever we go live. For the men's, we will have Tim Cartwright, Steve Tweedy, Kim Little, Adrian Timmis, Gavin Richardson, Shane Miller, Joachim Plujmer, Scotty Weiss, Peter Szynski, who is at the front of today's A race right now, actually. We'll get a look at his avatar, and also Jeffrey Creel is also going to be there as well coming out of Australia. So back to Peter Szczynski actually as he's attacking into the Essies here. And Termont there following very closely with Atwell as well. It looks like Jones was able to keep them within 18 seconds, man. This boy's got all day power here at a steady TT effort. We'll give him a ride on as he tries to chase these boys back down. But Peter Szczynski trying to break things apart at the front of the race. And James Hodges saying still need to fix typos on those names. That is, all the resources are just provided to Zwift Community Live. So definitely want to chat to whoever is creating those resources, the people creating the resources. But thanks a lot for that, Hodges. And maybe give a little ping over to the boys and girls with CVR on that one. But thanks a lot for the comment, Hodges. I was about to say, what is the, I'm looking for the, is that Szczynski? Yep, I think it is going to be. Is that, are you got which names are we talking about here, Hodges? I didn't even take a look, so I would just kind of just read right on through. Is it Peter? Is it Scotty? I'm looking through here real quickly. We'll see if I can find exactly what typo you guys are talking about. But now it looks like we do have recover responsibly. Matthew Burton is saying you guys are hilarious over at the Facebook feed. Still Jones 36 seconds. It is going out again, so unable to hang on to that steady gap that he was holding on to as the attacks go through the Essies, and they're going to be heading into lap 2 today. I'm sorry, lap 3 today, halfway done in the Primal Europe Friday Criterium. So Hensley now is dropping off Mr. Jake Kerr, who is about 4 seconds now as they head into the Essies, and not waiting up for the teammate. Ruff is there as well with Aaron Cox, and it looks like they're not going to be seeing the likes of the other Vision boys anytime soon. K-Ruff here, 4.7 watts per kilogram, though, trying to chase things down a little, putting in a pretty good dig, it looks like here, as Aaron's unable to hang on at that 4.3, 4.4, as Ruff is definitely turning the screws a little bit into the climb here. But Kuzminski now out of Poland with BJ Alfonso following very closely. Did drop off Boudreaux out of the U.S. of A, so this group is going to be getting away for the B and the C chasing here now. We are seeing Shields along with Boudreaux, Winsper, Stockvik, maybe just going back to them actually, Boudreaux, as he knows those boys were coming on pretty strong and that they were not going to be able to hold them off. Kaplan now was able to get his bike rolling again, it looks like, and I think Kaplan at 2.7 watts per kilogram or so, maybe be able to hold off Keats, but definitely fell way off the pace of the other C boys. And it looks like the C group here, the main chase group for the season, is starting to break up a little bit here. Winsper trying to hang on. Shields there as well, 3 seconds back. Actually, Shields, a part of that, was trying to hang on with all those TFC boys, but they definitely are working together here and getting away from Shields, who was definitely outnumbered amongst that group. We do have, it looks like, Badru then with P. Hill, Beveridge, Winsper, Stockvik there just hanging on. A 5-man group in this team time trial now at this point, trying to bring back BJ Alfonso, who's fallen off pace from Kuzminski just a little bit here. And now Kuzminski turning the pedals just a little stronger there. BJ Alfonso, 2.9 watts per kilogram, now getting back on terms at the front here. Aaron now 5 seconds back from K. Ruff, who has gotten a little bit of gap over him. We'll see if he can close down that 53 seconds to the front, but now to that chase group of those Vision boys. But now 36 seconds. Been able to keep it steady here, but I think it's going to go out again as they're entering their third time at the front of this race over the top of the forward Watopia, with Atwell now at the front, 4.0 watts per kilogram, Szczynski, and then Termont. For their past results recently, let's go ahead and see what's happening for the front end of the race as far as past results go for these boys that are looking for a W. Pierre Szczynski from Team Poland It looks like does have 145 races out on Zwift. 145 races out on Zwift. Very experienced, obviously. Zwift racer, 6 watts per kilogram, 172 beats per minute, and estimated FTP of 322. He won one lap race, kind of a warm-up race, it looks like, yesterday. WBR race, got 10th in the KISS Europe race and a 7th in the EVR Europe race, a 4th in the XCRS Crit. That's all in this past week. Lots of training happening out on Zwift from Peter as he's getting ready for his time coming up in London. Looking through then to Mr. Atwell, though, as we're just seeing rain out there through the camera from our helicopter view, but Mr. Atwell here is dropping off pace, though, in the A category. 3.5 watts per kilogram coming from him. Atwell has a 9th, a 6th, and a 7th in the last few races that he's done out on Zwift. 37 races total. Did the Primal for Europe Friday Crit last week with a 9th place and a 6th place the week before that. Really likes the crits, actually, as well as the SCR races, it looks like. Jumps into those. SCR and Friday Criterium are the main races that he does. Wednesdays and Fridays look to be Mr. David Atwell's races that he's jumping into. Looks like Termont here, able to follow the wheels there. And let's see where the watts per kilogram have been for Termont. Is he still playing the smart race? Definitely 3.3 watts per kilogram for Timothy Termont. Has a lot of wins in the B category. 67 races coming out of Belgium. And it looks like a 2nd in the KISS Pedal Power TT Wednesday. Excuse me, at 3.73 watts per kilogram for the duration of that time trial. 4th in the KISS Europe race the day before, and back on, it looks like Sunday, he was able to grab the XRS Crit 2nd place on the flat road race, actually. So solid results recently for Timothy Termont, and all within category limits, and really it looks like savvy rider out on Zwift, and we were talking about that a little bit yesterday. There's definitely a tactic to the racing out on Zwift, and a skill to it. There were some comments about this game takes no skill because you don't have to use balance handlebars with your handlebars are turning and leaning into crits and corners, and mountain bikers obviously going crazy through all kinds of single track and downhills and rocky technical sections, or out on the track being able to use the draft and diving into the corners, using all these different things that you're able to use in the different outside or in real life racing out on the bike. But I would argue that it's just not as apparent to individuals that maybe aren't looking at the intricacies of the game, as you're definitely seeing a skill here that Termont has learned about how to control his avatar with his pedal stroke. We're just very used to the skill in a game with an interaction with a virtual world, I think, with using our hands. And so I have a feeling that a lot of people don't read into it that, look, Termont is using a very good skill at learning how the draft works, how to use the different in-game consistencies or inconsistencies of other riders in order to get the best advantage that he possibly can with really, really good timing and really good drafting techniques, as well as using the exact timings, just like you would in real life for cycling with a draft, to use the least amount of power that you possibly can, and then use the most amount of dynamic power at the most important times. As you can see, Termont now attacking Peter, actually 7.3 watts per kilogram up and over the top of that little climb, getting the most out of the climb there, making sure that he can put the hurt on Peter just a little bit, or making sure that Peter does not get away from him here. So at 3.4 watts per kilogram, and Peter putting out 4.2 for the duration, there's definitely a lot less energy being expended here from Timothy, with a lot of skill that he's learned over the races that he has done with that 67 races out on Zwift. As we continue to get the rain here, and the shots being blocked there from the helicopter view, Termont sitting on at 2.0 watts per kilogram. We are seeing Kev Steeman asking a question there over Twitter, saying, do you have a Do you have a personal favorite out of the women's race? Thanks a lot, Kev. We're just going to try and stay unbiased there. I have a personal favorite. Yeah, I definitely have a personal favorite person in the races there. I think we even have her logged in over at our still frame, jumping around there in the D race for her avatar there. So I think I have a personal favorite for sure. I think everybody knows exactly who that is that has any familiarity with the Guerra household for sure. So now we are seeing nothing like radons with Frank the Tank is saying, don't buy 100% cotton headbands. It rains in real life by end of the race. James Hodges is saying. C Tower said, they have been revised. The creator apologizes for the errors. Thanks a lot, Tower. We appreciate it very much. Send it on over our way and we'll get those updated for sure. Rachel Elliott, Tim Cartwright. I'm looking here. I see it without the W. And then Rachel's name. I was actually looking for Rachel. I was spelling her name off of what I saw in here. And the Rachel with the A there. Got it. I see what's happening. So thanks a lot for pointing that out, everybody. So we are seeing, it looks like David now 41 seconds off the back here. Jones now 56. Looks like they're going to be hammering out in solo TT efforts. As long as they hang on to these places going into the final lap, they will hold on to them for third and fourth place respectively, as long as they do not get caught by Hemsley and Kerr. I don't think Hemsley and Kerr are going to be closing down that 2-minute gap. It looks like K-Ruff in a solo TT here. Not going to be seeing his teammates anytime soon, as that 50-second gap has gone out. Looks like Aaron here has been dropped off by a full 1 minute and 11 seconds. It was only 5 seconds up and over the top of that climb into the Essies, that last lap. But definitely, as you can see, it is a race of meters at all times out on Watopia. So now BJ Alfonso here with Kuzminski was able to get back to his wheel, hang on up and over the top of the climb here. P. Hill now, along with the other C riders, have been chasing these boys all day long. Let's see if they do launch any kind of a serious attack to try and bring Kuzminski back, as he's been trying to hold off the C group of riders for the entirety of the race. They've held them within this 30 seconds. It comes down to 5, then back out to 30, goes down to 5, goes back down to 30. So definitely been a crazy race here for Kuzminski to try and hold these boys off as he hangs out with the PTZ rider here, BJ Alfonso, in game. So we'll see if he's able to do this. Let's look at Kuzminski's current watts per kilogram out on course, definitely in the 3.4. Racing as a B, it says in zwiftpower.com, but he's yet seeing his name here, so maybe these boys will just chase him down because of that. We'll have to see, or maybe they have no interest whatsoever and they're just going to battle it out at the front of the C category right now. Currently, Winsper putting out 2.9 watts per kilogram. Winsper has gotten the better of all these boys, I think, over and over again. He's got a lot of wins here, it looks like. 2 wins in his last couple of races. So D. Winsper from the TFC team here. A second place, though, for P. Hill. Bedridge has had a third and a second as well in the last couple of races that he does. But I'm looking at Winsper's past results, 75 total races. Shields, oh my goodness. Let's talk about this guy, though. Real quick here, Winsper 75 races total. Won last week, won the week before, so definitely has gotten the better of these boys in the C category. So recently, Shields was dropped off over the Essies. Actually, there was a solid gap to him, but Shields is riding for Team None. How many people are on Team None? I'm going to take a look here. A lot of people are on Team None. And so it's kind of funny. There's a None team, and people are actually listed on that team on Zwift. It's not actually a team. I think it says that they are looking for a team, perhaps. But we are seeing Shields here with a solid 2.8 watts per kilogram, 12th, 5th, and the 17th for his races. He's got 83 races out on Zwift, actually, 280 FTP. It took a 8th in the KISS Europe race on the 23rd, 3 days ago, 21st in the KISS Sunday Europe race, took a 7th, and a 12th then in the Primal Europe Friday Crit. So definitely a solid ride here for Shields. If he can stay with these boys, this will be one of his best results of all time. 5th place and then a second back on the 8th. So maybe going to have one of his better results in the C category here for Mr. Alan Shields here. Solid race for him. So we'll see if he can hang on with the front end of this group and get the better of the other TFC riders, but it's going to be a difficult day to do so with so many of these team members working together out here in the C category race to try and break Shields. But there's no love lost between his boys when they head into that final lap, as we've seen Winsper drop them off the last 2 weeks and get the W over them in this C category race. Oh gosh, who do I cheer for in the C's? Carissa is saying. Carissa, are you going to be cheering for Shields here? Come on, TFC train, Matthew Burton. Michael Powell saying go team TFC with a little bit of a fist bump there. So definitely got some TFC crowd cheering you boys on here to see if you can get the better of Shields here. Shields being the underdog, I think, amongst these boys. 181 beats per minute. Stockfix sitting at 171. We're seeing Badru here, 168. Winsber here, 147. Definitely has a lot left in the tank here, just waiting to attack, it looks like. Beverage as well, 148. I think these are going to be the two boys to watch out for. P. Hill's now here at 164. Who is Hill riding for? He's got the TFC kit on. I'm not sure that he actually rides for TFC, though. And yep, he actually does. He definitely rides for TFC. I'm not super familiar with P. Hill. It is going to be Paul Hill, 16 races out on Zwift. Had a third in the WBR 4-lapper. Did get an upgrade into the B category on the 17th, though, in the WBR 1-lap, though. Took a second in the Friday Criterium, actually 2 weeks ago. And that would have been to Winsper, I think. Second place to Mr. Winsper. Let's go ahead and see it real quickly. Oh, no, that was to David Vicente out of somewhere. Portugal, I believe. As actually, no, that's Mexico. Yeah, Mexico, I believe. But David only one race, it looks like, out on Zwift, and actually went over category limit in that race. So Paul Hill, though, with the second place according to ZwiftPower.com. But let's get back to the front of the races. These boys are going to head into their SEs for the third time. They're going to be starting their... Whoa! Hey now. And that guy and gal was definitely not on my list whatsoever. Somehow we clicked somebody and ended up at Bruno Vieira, PTZ, who's got suddenly has turned into a woman out on course. I'm assuming maybe wife or significant other. They're out on course. They're hammering away. Bruno Vieira suddenly turns into a woman out on course. We have the ZZRC coming through here as well. Good to see ZZRC out there. We're going to keep on moving forward and see if we can find the TFC boys. There we go. I have no clue how we ended up. We've got a couple of things happening today. That was definitely interesting. Felix Hemsey now here, giving us a good shot into the front of the race. Timothy has gone off the front with Strzezinski, but Strzezinski, there he is. Attack through the S's, I'm assuming. 1 lap to go. Last time over the forward hilly Watopia. Timothy Termont in the B category is now going to have to settle for second overall, it looks like, as Peter, one of the CVR live events in London participants coming up, is going to be off the front at 4.5 watts per kilogram and holding him off. All these solo TTs here at the front of this AB race, as it looks like not a lot of matchups that are going to be consistent for a sprint finish here. So Timothy here all day long was hanging on with that 3.3 watts per kilogram, but Strzezinski obviously with a lot more power in the legs, as he was able to put out 4.2 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race so far, almost a full watt per kilogram more. Timothy held on for a very long time in order to stay at the front of this course, as well as with some really smart tactics hanging on to those wheels, but too much for too long, and now he's got to hold off Atwell, and Atwell might actually catch him, as Timothy definitely is not putting out the same watts per kilogram. Atwell's got a solid 3.9 for the duration here, and I'm not sure that Timothy's going to be able to hold on to this overall at 2.4 watts per kilogram, fading very quickly out of Belgium. 4.5 watts per kilogram come from him, though. 170 beats per minute. Will Atwell be able to chase him down? David here, man, at 3.8 now. Will he be able to kick it into that 4.5 plus that we're seeing here from Termont now, as he's making into this 3.4 now into that 7, 8, 9, 11, 12% gradient? that he's going to be feeling there out on course. 2.4 watts per kilogram, though. Atwell's got his chance here to close down 17 seconds and take that second place overall from Termont. They're not racing each other as far as categories go, but it definitely matters for the overall here. And I think maybe Termont a little bit too early here, as David is going to show what he's made of here over the top. We'll have to see if he can close this down out on course. Michael Powell, good to see you in the broadcast here over on the Facebook. Michael saying I'll be back on the TFC train soon. Good to hear, Michael. Hope to see you out on Zwift really, really soon. So it looks like Johnny's in the house giving us a little wave there with a very interesting emote. SPK wave. Good to see you. I do like an underdog, but that's my team. Carissa is saying, so not going to be chasing for shields or cheering for shields, it sounds like. None is what null, void, etc. is called in Python. So it's probably bug cow mecha saying. And DBAP 247. What does it mean to go over category limit? Their overall average was more than the category's max stats for the cat. Yep. So on ZwiftPower.com, I'll give a quick little explanation of all the categories. So not just on ZwiftPower.com, but in Zwift, the categories have been set up to be 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for the A category. So if you jump into a race, if they do not have the categories all set up for you in the race. So like this race had a D and an E category. So there was a D and then there was everybody else. Okay. Or if it just has an E category, then you can put A in your name if you know that you can hold 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for your functional threshold power. What you can hold for 1 hour straight. If you don't know your functional threshold power, you do an FTP test to find that. And you get an idea, or you can use a race for it. A lot of times races are really good if you push yourself in a race all out to figure out what your FTP is as well. For a solid 20 minutes, you can take a look at what you held for a 20-minute or see what it's placing you at in the race. Do a shorter race, though. Don't do a super long race, as you're for the duration of that race, you're definitely going to have a lower FTP registered, or a lower max wattage that you were able to hold for that category. But going over category limit, then it's assumed in the A category, when you jump into an E race, when you put A next to your name, like you're seeing Atwell here, that he can hold 4.0 watts per kilogram or more for his functional threshold power. Termont, as a B rider, is assumed to be able to hold 3.2 to 4.0, and that's so. And so all these categories is so that everyone has somebody to race against around their ability level, right? And so the C category then 2.5 to 3.2, the D category 2.5 watts per kilogram or less. So that's what that's all about, DBAP. And you can jump into sometimes in every one category, so they're all just mass start, but sometimes the categories start separately from each other with a little bit of a time difference, so that you don't have situations where categories are drafting off each other and getting an advantage of hanging on with riders that can hold a higher power, and tactically they're able to just jump in with those riders and use those riders' stronger power to get away from maybe some other riders that don't have as strong a dynamic power. So a race like this race, an E category race that everybody's together, but there's still separate categories that they put into their name, might have a advantage to those who have a good dynamic power, like Termont here. He can sit in, draft really well, but when the rubber hits the road in a VO2 max, 1 minute, 2 minute effort, 30-second effort, he's got some good kick. So that's just a tool in his toolbox. That's really good. But his FTP is still between 3.2 and 4.0, right? And so because he has that good kick, he's got an advantage in an E category race, but he might not have as much of advantage in a race that has all the categories separated out, where they're all just kind of racing against each other, and they can all have a little bit more of a race amongst the B category, where nobody's able to hold on to some of those trains that might go off the front with the A's or whatever it might be between all the categories. It's just a different kind of race that features and is able to have an advantage on the riders with different kinds of peak power profiles, right? So dynamic, more intense peak power profiles are most likely going to favor those E races, which is totally fine. There isn't one that's better than the other. It's just that's the tools that you bring to the toolbox. Larger riders that have big, huge power profiles for peak peak powers at very short durations, sprinters or track riders, right? So that's great for them. It's just a different kind of discipline with a different kind of race dynamic for sure. Carissa, we're seeing Kyle, let's see here, a lot more comments coming through here. Comic saying, I only figured out yesterday that E means everyone and isn't a fifth, even slower category. I'd only be CD myself, but there's rarely a race around the time I'm on. Sorry, oh man, Comic. Well, Kyle, you're on pretty late. Kiss 100. I do the Kiss 100. That's a good one. Definitely when I was racing last weekend, I had a lot. We're probably going to talk about this on the Zwiftcast, but just a little hinting onto this feeling I had during the races that I've been, I think Simon called it Zwiftified, because I was having the experience in my mental space and in my emotional space of the Kiss 100 during my race this past weekend, and it helped me in this weird mental emotional way that I've never experienced before, and was able to hang on to moves and just follow any move that went during the race. I ended up winning a pro mountain bike race this past weekend, and I would definitely say that the racing out on Zwift influenced my quality of race experience when it came to both the physical ability to follow things, but the mental and emotional ability to stay with things that I had experienced by chasing what I call robots and pixels out on Zwift. London Box Hill, man. Oh my goodness. With those boys over and over again. Close the gap, Carissa. And that's definitely what was happening. And now we are seeing, though, in the race here, Atwell, I know we've got a little distracted. We missed a little bit of a highlight there for David. What a close, what an amazing job closing that gap actually right now. Speaking of closing the gap here by Atwell to get back to Termont. He already been dropped off as Termont was able to go with Szerzynski, but it looks like Atwell's right back with him, and maybe Termont's going to have to play some of these smart tactics again to hang on to the wheel here as Atwell grabs on to a rider who's not a part of the race actually right ahead of him here, and Termont just barely hanging on 8.6 watts per kilogram, and now 5 meters is the difference. Able to grab right back onto that wheel though, and I have a feeling they may be in the team bus actually, getting a little bit of encouragement. Is Termont actually? Yep, so there's definitely a team bus happening here. Seeing those boys definitely have voice communication. Ian Appleby, John K. Ruff, Quentin LaFay, the director sportif over at the Vision Cycling team, is most likely given all kinds of direction to Mr. Termont here to get him to hang on to the wheels here, encouraging him on. But now it is a 1 second gap. Can he close it down here? 3.0 watts per kilogram, 32 miles per hour, 33 now as he hangs onto the wheel of this guy doing a workout right in front of him. Oh no, Termont's got to close it down right now before they hit the Essies. Now Atwell 182 though, really maxed out at this point. I have a feeling that Termont's got a little bit more left in the tank, but Atwell able to throw down 2.6, 2.9 here. This is for second place overall today. Can Termont close it down right now? He's going to have to do it in order to get a little bit of reprieve before the Essies and not have to battle out too much here. But Atwell up into that 180, 181. Termont now closing it down. It looks like it's within 10 meters. Will the meters continue to come down as Atwell hangs onto the wheel of somebody in workout mode here at 200 meters out? Atwell kicking it again, 4.1 watts per kilogram, 27 miles per hour, 29 now. Termont's now 6.3, 6.4 watts per kilogram. Seeing that Atwell is getting away again, kicks it one more time, and Will Atwell now goes right around, knowing that this boy that's in front of him is not going quite fast enough. It looks like M. Orlov now coming out of, I believe, Russia there, is being a part of this race, but Termont now 2.8 watts per kilogram, unable to hang on to that wheel for that second place overall. Szerzynski off the front here at 1.8 watts per kilogram, going to be strolling in for the first place win in the A category in the TFC today. Solid race all around there. So we are seeing Matthew Burton with a nice little comment there saying that the racing out on Zwift totally helped my CX season in the same way. Not so much in crits. That is not the comment that we were looking for. And let's go ahead and send it over. There it is. Matthew Burton totally helped my CX season in the same way. Not so much in crits. So interesting to say that it didn't help in crits. Probably because of the punchiness, I would say, that comes through crits that you don't always see over and over and over again very quickly. And so for myself, I use Zwift racing for one kind of fitness a lot of times, like you were saying. Now, here's the thing, though. There are some courses that have been opened up, I think, out on Zwift, like the crit course on the Volcano. And I think that is a little bit punchier that might actually help in crits as far as the punchiness goes of an effort over and over and over again. I think you have to jump into certain kinds of courses to get the experience, though, that you need for those kinds of races. At the same time, though, I would suggest more of a 15 by 15 micro bursts or some sort of a anaerobic repetitions, much shorter, much punchier. Jumps over and over again on the minute, every minute for 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, those are obviously, obviously though too, using intervals over, not over racing, but more than racing out on Zwift is what I would suggest. And then using the races to kind of throw in that leg confusion that comes with racing a bike in real life as well as on a Zwift platform like this. So it looks like Straczynski's going to bring it in for first place out on course today. And Termont's saying, I think that's PVM Termont saying, I got nothing left. Unable to close it down to Atwell here. Straczynski now, it looks like, going to be taking first place, crossing the line. We'll give him a ride on. Solid effort there from Straczynski for Team Poland there. First place in the A category in the Primal Europe Friday Criterium. Atwell now closing out the race here, second place in the A category. Termont able to hold on, though, to the win in the... I don't know. Jones, look at this guy. I don't know, Termont. 47. Look at how quickly this gap is being closed. 46. This boy's coming on at 22 miles per hour. We're seeing 21 or so. Jones now 23 as he gets it into 25, 26, 27. He's coming on pretty quickly here. If Termont literally has nothing left and he strolls in at 1.8, Jones might be able to do something here, but we're going to have to see a kick like none before from Jones here. And he's actually more of that TT all day long. Somebody needs to check their finger positioning here, Szymanski is saying. What does that mean? And we are seeing here Termont now 1.1 watts per kilogram. Jones, I guess since you're racing, we'll forgive you here, Szymanski is saying now. Oh, great pacing, David. I see David Atwell, Termont is saying there. So got it. I was like, what is he talking about? But now I'm seeing the comment there. Great pacing with the Q there. See, I see the chat there now. I see exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, I got it, Szymanski. Thanks. I appreciate it. Termont, what is happening here? Is he just trying to make it interesting? Oh, he's just going to give us a little show. 10 watts per kilogram. That's what that's all about. 12 watts per kilogram here. 1,000+ watts from Termont. What an effort there. And able to get across the line before Jones. And giving a little kick. Jones going to be coming across the line here in the B category for second place behind Termont and fourth overall on the day. Now no love lost between the Vision riders. Kerr sitting in. Going to get the better of Hemsley maybe. We'll have to see. At 1.6 watts per kilogram as Kerr sits in here. Will Hemsley be able to hold him off? He's leading it out into the negative gradient on the downhill here. This is the place where the boy in the back here is definitely going to be getting the better of the drafting and saving and reserving as well as the speed, and see if he can come around at the last second here over the other Vision Cycling member here. But it is an A and B category difference, so maybe not going to matter. Kerr, though, maybe going to get the sprint in. We'll have to see who's got the bigger wattage, or maybe they're just going to cross the line in this order as teammates. More of a holding hand situation. We'll have to see. Yeah, you could take that the wrong way, Szymanski. I had no idea what you were talking about there whatsoever. I was a little interesting. Hemsley now with 13 watts. What is that 1,300 watts. Hemsley with quite the sprint. Kerr now crossing the line. Solid effort there all around. Let's go ahead and see if we can move back and find these boys in that C category, though, as they're making their way. K Ruff is here. About 245 up from those boys, getting me solo TT to the line here. Cox now with a solid 10 seconds over. Aaron Cox over Kuzminski with the BJ Alfonso. This is going to be a battle right to the line between these boys. We'll keep our eyes on them, as I don't think they're going to catch Aaron, who does have a solid 4.6 watts per kilogram, 11 seconds over on the Go Power Rangers. So now, though, Kuzminski here with BJ Alfonso sitting on the wheel. BJ does have a pretty good kick to the line, and just following that wheel as they make their way through the second half of the Essies here. Solid result for these boys. We'll see if who's going to win the battle here, though, to the line between them. What I meant was great pacing, David Atwell. Keyboard messed up with the constant pushing of the Q button, it looks like there. So Timothy, nice job out there today in the race, though, as always. So BJ Alfonso 2.8 watts per kilogram, it looks like, with Kuzminski here 4.1 hanging onto the wheel. BJ now sitting back in. Kuzminski's got 182 beats per minute. BJ Alfonso 174. Both of them pretty high heart rates so far. We'll see who's going to get the better of the other in the sprint to the line here today. As Kuzminski has 3.0, they just keep trading spots here. It looks like over and over again, waiting for the other to take the pole at the front. Now it looks like 173 though from BJ. Kuzminski now resting up definitely, as his heart rate has dropped about 5 beats coming into the tunnel as they hit this downhill section. BJ leading it out 3.3 or so. Who's going to kick first? It's usually whoever kicks with the highest wattage at the bottom of this hill. Sometimes it does change up if they do not have the continuance all the way to the line. So we get the helicopter shot here. We do see BJ leading things out now. Kuzminski now coming around maybe as he speeds up in the draft here. 4.3 watts per kilogram. BJ still ramping it up. 3.8, and it looks like it may be BJ to the line. Kuzminski now, here comes the wattages from Kuzminski, though, as they make their way through the 300 meters to go. Now BJ Alfonso starting to ramp it up, 6.4, 11 watts per kilogram. Kuzminski tries to follow. He's up and out of the saddle, 9 watts per kilogram. Tries to hold on the wheel, does not get the wheel, though. And if he doesn't have more than 9 watts per kilogram to give right now, I don't think we're going to see him come around at the finish line. Nope, Kuzminski fades there before they even hit it. And it will be BJ Alfonso gets the jump first. Kuzminski coming in for second. Now we do have Winsper and the others in that C category about to come into the finish line. Winsper, as we were saying, had a lot left to give. Stockvik was able to follow the wheel. That's a little surprising for me. If Stockvik follows all the way to the line here, he's got the biggest kick, I think, amongst these three at the front. It will be P. Hill, Stockvik, and Winsper. Maybe P. Hill with one of the best races, though, to date here. 6.6 watts per kilogram on this last flattening out point of the course here. 300 meters to go. This is for the win in the C category as they make their way to the line here. Winsper 5.0 watts per kilogram. Here goes Hill, though, now 13 watts per kilogram with 200 meters to go. Stockvik, though, kicks it into 11. Hill jump maybe a little too early, fades to 4.0. Will Stockvik be able to go close it down right now? It's now or never. Hill's got 12 watts per kilogram to give, but Stockvik coming on. No, it will be P. Hill, followed by Stockvik, and then Winsper. Winsper with the win the last 2 weeks, but not going to happen today as Hill steals it from him, followed by Stockvik, and then D. Winsper across the line in that TFC train. Now we got Verdrew here with Shields here, trying to get the better of a few of these TFC boys. Andy Beveridge now off the back at 121. Definitely fell off from the pace. Shields was definitely worked over, though, by these boys and is going to be beaten to the line by D. Verdrew as well. Solid result all around for those TFC boys, as Shields now crossing the line behind them. I think in 5th place for the C category. Andy Beveridge then a little ways back as well, about 125 to the line. As we watch Andy make his way to the finish, we're going to go over the C, the A, B, C, D category results. The D's will have finished already for sure. We do have Peter Szynski with the win, David Atwell, and then Felix Hensby. That's your top 3 in the A category. Timothy Termott, Robert Jones, and then John Kerr for the top 3 in the B category. Timothy Termott, though, and Robert Jones for the overalls 3rd and 4th, just so everybody knows. Paul Hill followed by Pal Addy, Stockvik, and David Winsper for the top 3 in the C category. David Berdur and then A. Shields there was the next finishing order for the top 5 in the D category. I believe I am going to be able to bring that up really quickly as they did 2 laps on the flat course. We will be able, I think, have some results here. Lots of upgrades. Andrew Bunting gets an upgrade, and Axon Jackson, Christian Leduc, all with upgrades in the D category. So Mike Montrose, followed by Jonathan Miller, and then Raha Bakshi, Richard Taylor, and Kenneth Walter in that D category. That's your top 5. And so nice job to all those D category riders today. So solid effort all around, everybody. And, let's see, do we have any? Let's just take a quick little look here and see if anybody else is making the way to the line. We don't want to miss anybody that might be rounding things out. Kaplan, who fell off the back there, we gave him a ride-on earlier. Keats now coming to the line. Martin Knudsen as well. We'll give them some ride-ons as they make their way to the line. Solid results all around, though, and an air conditioner in the background. And so we've got solid results all around, everybody. Great job. I believe tonight we do have Zuzkana with her weekly workout. She will be streaming tonight. I believe we'll get an event scheduled on Zwift Community Live. Make sure to be watching out for that. If you're on Twitch right now, you can click on events above us, and I'll actually link that right now. So here is events. Click on events up there, and you can get a reminder of every time that we go live. We'll be sharing those events on our Facebook, our Twitter, all over the place, so that you can get a reminder of every time that we will go live. Obviously, if you already follow the channel, you also get those reminders, but there's an extra reminder, some help for you to know every time that we go live. Carissa, thanks a lot for the, I think Carissa just gave us a little cheer. Thanks a lot for the cheer there. I really appreciate the 100 bits there that you just threw out. And remember, if you do cheer, any of the bits will go toward a community effort, some sort of community effort, either a community giveaway or maybe some of our CVR World Cup. We might have some Dota 2 international prize pool boosting sometime for the World Cup. That's a pretty far lead out, but just so you guys know, if you do use bits and cheer, that goes to a Zwift Community Live specific PayPal account that just sits, and it will go toward community giveaways. Or I am also thinking about real life in real life events for the riders too. So thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. Great job to all the racers as always. And thanks a lot to the Primal Europe for sponsoring the Friday Criteriums as well. We'll see you guys later tonight for some workout mode with Zuzkana. If you haven't done so already, the best place to get notifications anytime that we go live is over on our Twitch or Mixer channel. That would be twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live or mixer.com/Zwift Community Live. All right, cheers, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we will see you tonight for a ride-on workout with Zuzkana.